Good evening and welcome back to part 5 of our How Money Works Elements class. You made it this far. You have learned about foundations and concepts and protection in short term. And now tonight we will begin with part 5. If you're just joining us, I want to welcome you. We're going to start with a quick video talking about the book that this course is all based around. How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. And then we'll dive into tonight's content.
More than 5 billion people around the world continue to struggle with money and financial illiteracy.
It's Madison Avenue manipulation, right? It's been going on for years and we buy into it.
How bad is financial illiteracy?
It's not taught in schools, so people don't know this naturally.
Oh, you're right.
So you grow up not knowing anything about it. You make a lot of mistakes along the way, and we're hoping to educate them and teach them how money really works so they can learn the cause and effect of all this.
And it doesn't have to be generational.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly right.
break that cycle.
Once you understand the basics of financial literacy, it changes your life. The secret is financial literacy. I mean, teaching your kids how money works.
I think it's really understanding how money works.
Once they understand the basics of how money works, they shouldn't have to struggle for very long.
Steve Siebold and Tom Matthews are the authors of How Money Works. Stop being a sucker.
Money means possibility. It means opportunity. It means freedom. Things you've always wanted to do, dreams that you have. Money makes it possible.
You know, of all the interviews we've had in the last 6 weeks, I'm actually most encouraged by that one.
It is so great to have you with us here this evening. My name is Daniel Miller, and I will be your financial educator for the next half hour. I'd like to welcome you to the How Money Works Elements educational series taught tonight on Zoom. This course is based on the groundbreaking book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, now with over 500,000 copies in print. As we've discussed, How Money Works is the first financial education book that anyone at any age can enjoy and benefit from. It's been featured all over the news, different places like CNBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox, all over the web. It's gotten rare endorsements from the Heartland Institute of Financial Education. And you can follow us on Instagram at How Money Works Official. If you haven't gotten a copy of this book by now, let us know when we finish and we will make sure that we get you one. Our class tonight is part 5 of the 5 elements titled Long Term. And once you complete tonight or any of the classes, if you attend, you will get a certificate of completion as well as a free 30-minute consultation with one of our How Money Works experts. And they're trained to help you chart a course to financial independence using our 7 money milestone methodology. The most exciting of the 5 classes is tonight. So we've saved the best for last for you because long-term is all about the future. You're going to learn techniques used by the wealthy to create financial independence, and you'll learn how to protect your wealth as a legacy for your family. So we're beginning with number 6 of the 7 money milestones. 6 is the big one, and it's the most exciting. And why is that? Well, it's because it centers on building wealth. And this is the milestone where results start to appear on your bottom line. This is where you avoid the impact of taxes and losses and inflation, and you do your best to accumulate and grow your net worth. With the possibility of longevity adding so many years to your life, that brings up one question. Will your wealth last as long as you do? You better be able to answer that. And tonight, we hope to give you the way to do just that. According to a recent study, 63% of people have a greater fear of running out of money in retirement than dying. And It's a real threat in light of this eye-opening statistic. For retirement age couples, there's a 50% chance that one spouse will live past age 95. So here's the crux of milestone number 6. Whatever stage of life you're in, you must start building wealth now. Put another way, yesterday is better than tomorrow. As you embark on wealth building, there are 4 disciplines to help you stay on track and not lose ground. Look at them with me. Save regularly and don't touch it. Review your goals and make adjustments as needed. In addition to that, there are 4 threats every wealth builder must conquer. Think of these as your wealth building enemies. Each will come at you from a different direction. To beat them, we have to address them individually. So let's start with one of the worst, procrastination. As one quote says, procrastination can be, hands down, our favorite form of self-sabotage. Then we will pick apart the others: market losses, inflation, and of course, taxes. Procrastination is the enemy of saving and investing. It is best described as inaction. The best tactic to overcome procrastination is prioritization. You simply move the 5 actions to overcome financial procrastination to the top of your to-do list. You flag them as urgent and get started on them immediately. You can never get lost time back. It's an asset we all have, but so many waste. So stop doing that tonight and begin to stop procrastinating. Inflation is also known as the tax of time. The annual inflation rate has averaged right at 2.8% for the last 100 years. Can you approximate the number of years it takes the cost of goods to double at a steady 2.8% annual inflation rate? Hint, if you remember the rule of 72 from the concepts class in this same series, you might be able to figure that out. It's time to put your knowledge of the rule of 72 to work. The answer is almost 26 years. So one of the essential reasons to build wealth using the power of compound interest is to stay ahead of inflation. When you know that the enemy is slowly devaluing your savings by raising the cost of goods, it should drive you to be even more committed to your growth building strategy. Don't let it scare you. Let it drive you to action. The next enemy to wealth is the impact of losses. Often underestimated, it is a threat that can wreck your savings, your goals, and force you to adjust your lifestyle in retirement. Here's a simple picture that illustrates how people miscalculate the impact of losses. If you were to lose 50% of your investment, which happened twice in the stock market in the last 50 years or 20 years, what percentage of gain would you need to get back to 100? If you lost 50%, the answer is 50%, right? Wrong. It actually takes 100% gain after a 50% loss to get back to even. And that's not really easy to do, which is why it's so important to protect what you have. Maybe this is the reason why Warren Buffett famously said this about investing. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. So what can you do to protect and prevent losses? First, look at every option to reduce risk. Second, consider how best to diversify your portfolio. And third, utilize the right financial vehicles for your situation. Remember, don't procrastinate, consider inflation, and talk with your financial professional about ways to reduce or remove the impact of losses from your strategy. So lastly, we're going to talk about the impact of taxes, which is really the 800-pound gorilla of wealth building threats. Nobody I've ever met likes paying taxes, but that is especially true when you're preparing for retirement. The tax strategy you put in place today can determine how much money you keep and how much money you pay the government, and ultimately how much you leave your loved ones. Understanding how financial vehicles are taxed differently can help you make strategic decisions that can pay off big time down the road. If you save $10,000 at age 29 and earn 9% annual return each year, you would have $250,000 when you reach age 65. So think like a farmer for a second. Would you rather pay taxes on the seed or on the harvest? Of course, whichever is smaller, which is usually what you start with. A farmer would rather pay taxes on the seed, not the harvest, and an investor would rather pay taxes on the money before it grows, not after. You either pay taxes now, later, or never. And the really unique thing is you get to choose which one. So which one will apply to you? Well, it depends on the vehicle you choose. And again, this is where a financial professional can help you. When you sit down with them, they can help you figure out how you're being taxed now and what your strategy can be going forward. The colors of the icons matter. Red is tax now. Yellow is tax later. The decisions get simpler when you break it down to these categories and colors. Do you have any red or yellow financial vehicles as you see here? If so, you now know how you'll be taxed. Green is the color of money and the color of growth. And it's also our color for tax never. Different types of accounts can be taxed completely differently, and green means no tax at all. Green never looks so good, right? Are any of these tax never vehicles a part of your wealth building strategy? Again, your financial professional can be a great help in choosing the right types of vehicles for you. So the boxer Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Did I hear he's considering coming out of retirement? He's in his 50s now and hasn't boxed in more than 15 years. Maybe he should listen to his own words. The best way to avoid running out of money in retirement is by not putting yourself in a position for it to happen to you. In other words, to stay out of the ring. In a recent Gallup survey, 85% of non-retired American investors strongly agreed that having a guaranteed income stream in retirement to supplement Social Security benefits is crucial. Guaranteed income can help you avoid the risk of running out of money in retirement. So there are really three components to build this reliable retirement income. And we would recommend that you consider all three of them. The first is maintain potential for growth by participating in the upside or growth potential tied to the market. You have to maintain that potential, but you also have to reduce or remove the potential for losses by eliminating downside risk tied to the market. Those are two things that you must consider doing. And lastly, you need to create a predictable income that lasts and prevents the possibility of running out of money in retirement with an income stream that you can count on. So here's what it looks like when you nail it. The gap is closed. Retirement savings goal reached. By stacking up multiple streams of income, this person will have a reliable income because they saved the amount necessary and got the rate of return necessary to reach the savings required to make the retirement they imagine possible. They will never run out of money in retirement and could even have some left over to leave as a legacy to their children. How does that sound? You can work with your financial professional to figure out what your income streams and numbers need to be to have the same thing for yourself. So now we're on the last milestone, protecting your wealth by creating a will and guarding your legacy. This is something that a lot of people miss, and even the rich miss sometimes. Prince and Aretha Franklin, both of whom died just a few years ago, had sizable estates, but neither had an estate plan. Both left their families and their business partners with an emotional, financial, and legal mess that's taken years to sort out. This shows how important it is to protect your wealth with an estate plan. According to a Rocket Law survey, 64% of Americans don't have a will. Not surprisingly, that number is actually higher for younger Americans. 70% of those between age 45 and 54 don't have a will, rather than older Americans between ages 55 and 64, where 54% of those do not have a will. Prince was only 57, but your estate plan is how you protect your wealth, your family, and your legacy when you die, or if you're incapacitated. It's how your wishes and decisions are carried out. Your estate plan is how you protect your wealth, your family, and your legacy when you die, or if you're incapacitated. It's the set of documents, including your will, used by your loved ones to carry out your wishes and decisions. So there are really 4 documents that your estate plan should include. You'll need a will, financial power of attorney, an advanced healthcare directive or living will, and a HIPAA release. Your legal professional can help you put all of this in place. Having an estate plan in place can help you avoid the government making decisions about who gets your property and who takes care of your children. The process of a court administrating your estate in accordance with state law is called probate. Nobody wants to go through that if they don't have to. You can also help your family and business partners avoid unnecessary expenses and delays with the probate process with one additional estate planning tool, a trust. Trust can do many things for you. Again, your legal professional can give you the best advice when it comes to trust. So please keep in mind that some assets pass directly to your named beneficiaries at death and are not transferred through a will or a trust. Things like life insurance, annuities, IRAs, or 401ks, and other qualified retirement plans work that way. Some bank and investment accounts also distribute funds directly to your named beneficiaries. Jointly owned assets with rights of survivorship pass directly to the joint tenant at death. If you think estate planning will be too expensive or time-consuming, then you really haven't considered the costs to your loved ones down the road. The truth is, there are many options for almost every budget. We recommend you put this milestone in place right away, regardless of if you're on step 1 or step 6. You need to get this in place. So that's today. Short and sweet, but powerful to set you up for the long term. We're at the conclusion of today's session and the entire How Money Works Elements class. Milestones like you just learned about will bring up questions like the ones you see on the screen here. And again, a financial professional is the best person to turn to for questions like these and others. Our team can discuss this with you if you don't have one or if you need help in choosing one. Sharing financial literacy and education is what we do. Thank you for your time and attention, and we wish you all the best in your financial future. As we talk about our mission, again, we're on a mission to teach 20 million families how money works within the next decade using this course and others that we have built. We're trying to stamp out financial illiteracy in every community. And that's a huge undertaking and one that's going to require an army of thousands of How Money Works educators. So we are actively looking for people to help us teach these classes. And that's really where you or someone you know can come in. If you have an interest or you think someone will be good, please connect them to us and we'll see if they're a good fit. So again, we're at the end of today's element, and I'd like you to think about which concept resonated with you the most. That is the exact reason why we started on this mission of eradicating financial illiteracy. This money discovery is how you start taking control of your finances. Part of attending this course is we can help you if you don't already have a financial professional. This works like driving directions on your mobile phone with 2 points of reference being all that you need, where you are and where you want to go. The same is true to chart your financial roadmap. The How Money Works discovery in the back of the book can help you take care of that. Again, our How Money Works experts are available to sit down with you now that you've attended one or all of our Elements classes. The question is, how do these concepts work with your financials and with your personal numbers? And how much faster will you be able to complete the 7 money milestones with an expert guiding you? Your discussion will be short and private and focused exclusively on your financial goals. So if you're interested, our experts can even crunch your numbers, make recommendations, and give you access to the very best products and services available. So if that's you, text me right after this class at 419-606-9868, and let's start putting your money to work for you today. Again, that's 419-606-9868. And lastly, if you liked what you learned tonight and would like to learn more, you can follow How Money Works on Instagram at How Money Works Official, or you can follow me at Daniel Miller TFA for more tactical and practical tips and resources to help you knock out these 7 money milestones. Thanks for your time and attention. I look forward to working with you, and please share this information with anyone you think who would like to stop being a sucker and would like to learn how money works. Again, my name is Daniel Miller. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have a great night.